Coralds Emerlan and Galain. The dragons swept downward to where a jumbled mountain of Kachain Chemal carcasses marked the last stand of one of the matrons. Corald Emerlan had slaughtered the defenders, and wild shadows still flitted about like wraiths on the slopes. Skabandari spread his wings, buffeting the steamy air, then settled atop the reptilian bodies. A moment later he sembled into his Tiste Edur form. Skin the shade of hammered iron, long grey hair unbound, a gaunt aquiline face with hard, close-set eyes, a broad, down-turned mouth that bore no lines of laughter, high, unlined brow, diagonally scarred livid white against the dusky skin. He wore a leather harness bearing his two-handed sword, a brace of long knives at his hip, and hanging from his shoulders a scaled cape, the hide of a matron, fresh enough to still glisten with natural oils. He stood, a tall figure sheathed in droplets of blood, watching the legions assemble. Edur officers glanced his way, then began directing their troops. Skabandari faced northwest then, eyes narrowing on the billowing clouds. A moment later, a vast bone-white dragon broke through, if anything larger than Skabandari himself when veered into draconian form. Also sheathed in blood, and much of it his own, for Silchas Roin had fought alongside his Andi kin against the Kel hunters. Skabandari watched his ally approach, stepping back only when the huge dragon settled onto the hilltop and then quickly sembled. A head or more taller than the Tiste Edur soul-taken, yet terribly gaunt, muscles bound like rope beneath smooth, almost translucent skin. Talons from some raptor gleamed in the warrior's thick, long white hair. The red of his eyes seemed feverish, so brightly did it glow. Silchas Roin bore wounds, sword slashes across his body. Most of his upper armor had fallen away, revealing the blue-green of his veins and arteries tracking branching paths beneath the thin, hairless skin of his chest. His legs were slick with blood, as were his arms. The twin scabbards at his hips were empty. He had broken both weapons, despite the weavings of sorcery invested in them. His had been a desperate battle. Skabandari bowed his head in greeting. "Silchas Roin, brother in spirit, most stalwart of allies, behold the plain, we are victorious." The albino Tistandi's pallid face twisted in a silent snarl. "My legions were late in coming to your aid," Skabandari said, "and for that my heart breaks at your losses. Even so, we now hold the gate, do we not? The path to this world belongs to us, and the world itself lies before us, to plunder, to carve for our people worthy empires." Ruin's long-fingered, stained hands twitched, and he faced the plain below. The Edur legions had reformed into a rough ring around the last surviving Andi. "Death fouls the air," Silchas Roin growled. "I can barely draw it to speak." "There will be time enough for making new plans later," Skabandari said. "My people are slaughtered. You now surround us, but your protection is far too late." "Symbolic, then, my brother. There are other Tistandi on this world, you said so yourself. You must needs only find that first wave, and your strength will return. More others will come, my kind and yours both, fleeing our defeats." Silchas Roin's scowl deepened. "This day's victory is a bitter alternative." "The Kachain Chemal are all but gone. We know this. We have seen the many other dead cities. Now only Morn remains, and that on a distant continent, where the short-tails even now break their chains in bloody rebellion. A divided enemy is an enemy quick to fall, my friend. Who else in this world has the power to oppose us? Jaghat? They are scattered and few. Imas? What can weapons of stone achieve against our iron?" He was silent a moment, then continued. "The Fokral assails seem unwilling to pass judgment on